Yeah, Mighty Joe. Kick it. Open up the notepad. The world is seeming so sad. They go and kick you when you're down until it prolapses your gonads. You can't go back, know that. Bro scratched as a smoke that. I take a toke of hash, my eyes roll back, a choking hack, a moment's lapse, alone at last. I hear the drone of chance as I float aghast, motionless. In openness, a poet's chalice overflowing, vast as the ocean is. Hope is madness made potent, as globalist fags scavenge to ravage both halves. This is our soul's last opus. No magic or hocus pocus is gonna show us. We walk the path with no map. Back me in a corner and I'll slap the devil out of you with both hands. Remember, boy, you're talking to a grown man with the strength to stand until my bones are sand. These broke-ass posers don't pass the piss and smell test. Odorous as moldy trash. Look in their eyes, they are soulless. The outspoken will overdose, get a throat slashed, or die in a remote crash. It is so bad the sheep won't notice until they're roped and gassed. I am so mad. I could choke a Chad with his whole mask. Tell Dr. Kevorkian he can stick his fourth jab up his own ass. He would probably moan and gasp till his dirty old O-ring contracted in orgasmic fashion and sell it on his OnlyFans. Dr. Dopey is softer than Heath Ledger and Brokeback. I'd better grab his fucking hide and his coke stash. Then run and tell his old dad that we know that he was fucking his bros kid. Shit, they probably both did. Disgusting, revolting. But don't scratch the surface, go back. Take a look at this photograph. Landed the free until they sold that. Pooh and Vlad are salivating at the prospects. Some days I feel hopeless. Like, fuck it all. Do your worst, you fucking pussies. Turn this modern Sodom and Gomorrah into a fucking bowl of ash. Thinking like that'll make you go mad. When I get like that, I collapse and pray. Grab my pen and let the Holy Ghost in. Real Mighty Joe isn't a slogan. It's my passion to keep going. The fire in my eyes to see the omens. The breath of life I blow into my poems. I hope it is showing. May this tone bring you home again. It is always darkest before the dawning. Often we are starving as we are harvesting. The thirst drives us to drink. The mindless monotony drives us to think. They have no power over us that we don't give. I am free as the lion and lionesses that bask in the sun, bragging, I dare you, come get me, you Joe Crook. To the clowns that don't know the show is over yet, better move on to face your reckoning before the ones that come after me comes. You'll beat you down with more than just lyrics, I promise. You better hear this or be banished. Loneliness can drive the best of men insane, and you stronger than them think. Whatever they promised you, I promise you they can't afford to deliver it. This is your deliverance. It is said when you're walking through hell, best keep on going, kid. So that's what I'm doing by showing it's possible, by overcoming my obstacles. If you can throw it at me, I'll throw it back at you with more velocity. No ending gives a gushing like this. Proper justice, always a sense of abruptness. Best I can do is give it up to the percussion.
there is. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my routine. But my father was a gamberman down in New Orleans. Now the only thing the gator needs is a sentence and a song. Now the only time he's satisfied, it's when he's on a drum. Yeah. Oh, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Oh, spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Well, I got one foot on the platform, the other foot on the train. I'm going back to New Orleans to wear the ball and chain. Yeah, that red flowers in New Orleans. Let it go, the rising sun. And it's me and the ruin of many a poor boy. Thank God I know I'm one. Thank God I know I'm one. Thank God I know I'm one.
This is the dawning of the age of awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the one, the only Real Mighty Joe show. I am your host, the one, the only Real Mighty Joe. I appreciate y'all coming out to hang out. Got at least one of you hanging out in here. I'm sure there'll be more to follow. I'm on vacation this week, and when I say vacation, like my background leads you to believe that I am locked up in some type of prison, which is not the case. I'm in Florida. They all have these like hurricane shutters this time of year on like their exterior windows. So it's like, yeah, it totally looks weird because they're all this like straight up industrial metal behind my head. It's not exactly the best backdrop. I have this weird light. It's not exactly like a pretty light. I guess they turn it on. It's not great. It's not great. We don't need that. But yeah, it basically looks like I'm like in like a 80s action flick, like trying to hide, being like, the end of the world is near. The Terminators are coming. They're on the doorstep. And my angle's funny because I had something to prop it up last night underneath my computer, but I don't have it handy tonight. So yeah, it's my vacation. You're going to deal with that. I'm going to try and adjust it as much as I can, but you're going to have to deal with kind of crappy camera angles and looking like I'm
I'm in a like Guantanamo Bay detention facility right now because that's totally what it looks like in my mind. I guess I'm judging myself right there. That's me judging me, just so you know. And I think it's healthy to do that. You know, judge yourself, judge thyself, lest yeah, whatever, lest ye be judged. I think if you judge yourself, you'll be less judged by others. If you take time to critique yourself, I think that's kind of something you could scavenge from the Bible if you wanted to, and scrape the lyrics and the rhythm and the rhyme and the madness to it. But I do find something funny. Just a side note, and I don't have anything specific. First of all, full disclosure, if you are watching this, I do not have a rhyme or reason to tonight's show specifically. I do have some stuff I will like to watch, but pretty much, you know how I do on the weekends. If you've been following me for a while, usually Monday through Friday, I'll cover a little bit more news. I'll be like news heavy about like current events, things that are happening that day. When I get a case of just kind of drifting off and doing whatever does and wherever it goes. Those are more of the weekend type shows. Since I'm on vacation all week, I figure all week is just gonna kind of be whatever it is, do whatever it does. So say hello in the chat, interact, and I'll probably watch whatever you want, and we'll get into all that. Would like some feedback. I'm playing around with my watermark, so I've got a couple options with my watermark. I've got this one, which is usually there. I've got this one now. It's a little more streamlined, but maybe it's cleaner. And I've got this one. So tell me which one you like. I'm going to rock with this one for now. I feel it's kind of subtle and nice. But let me know what you think in the chat on that. All right, let's go ahead and let's call up a thing or two. So what do I want to get into? Let me check my comedy people first, because I think one of my comedy people might have something for us tonight. And I do always like to check in with what the comedians in our culture are doing, because comedy is kind of the last frontier of free speech, if you will. So hopefully the comedians are still being funny and able to express themselves, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, we got a newbie from Conservative Mama. I love her. She's great. So Democratic Strategy Session in June 2022. Absolutely checking that out. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm sorry. My camera angle's a little weird. It's going to be like my head cut off. It is what it is. Yeah. It's because my computer's low down compared to where I'm sitting. But all right, let's go ahead and do this one. Give me a second. Conservative Mama is excellent. Excellent. I'll go ahead and post a link in the chat so you can give her a follow. Give me a second. I'll get that called up for you. But here we go. Copy that. All right, there we go. I think I'll watch a little ad here for a second. Good for her getting her monetization on. Proud of you, streamer.
Hey, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. We told everybody that this inflation was just transitory, and it's not been transitory. And people are starting to discover, they're starting to realize that we only get a tiny, small, minute amount of oil from Russia. So we're not going to be able to blame Putin much longer. Okay. So I've got a plan. Okay, I've got an idea. I say we hold a nationally televised hearing about January 6th. And we get all the networks to carry it. And then everybody starts talking about January 6th over here instead of the economy. It's a good idea. It's a good idea, right? What? What is it, Karen?
January 6th happened almost 2 years ago. So I don't think that plan will work.
It'll work, Karen. Okay, it'll work. Like I said, we'll get all the networks to carry it. Okay, and they'll just be talking about domestic terrorism over and over and over again. Okay, instead of the absolute mess that we've created. It'll work. It'll work. going to work.
Yeah, I just don't think that this idea of yours is going to move the needle at this point.
Well, I don't think you move the needle, Karen, okay? You don't move the needle.
I just think that most people know what happened on January 6th. So,
Whoa. What is that supposed to mean, Karen? Huh? What is that supposed to mean?
nothing. No, nothing.
I'd watch your mouth if I were you, Karen, okay? I'd watch your mouth. Hey, we're in trouble.
Yeah, if I was a Democratic strategist right now, I would not be happy. I was shuffling around the different logos just to see what y'all prefer. So we got the blue one. We got the one with the black lettering, which is interesting because in this view, the lettering disappears, but it's just the subtle grill ahead. I kind of don't dislike that. And then we've got with the white box. I can also get them to do that lettering and in a different, maybe outline the lettering in a gray or something so you can see it, even if it's blacked out behind it. Might be a thing. But let me know in the chat which little corner logo you like the best. That one, or that one. I'm gonna stick with the just the gorilla by himself because I think it's kind of cool. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I think JP might have had something too. Let me check him out real quick. I absolutely love Waking with JP. He does a great job. I was wrong about abortion. Yeah. Why I changed my mind. This is probably a heartfelt, actual, real video, and this is 14 minutes. So let's dive into this. Let's go here. This is what I feel like doing. Let's do it.
Kids are cute. Hi, friend. In this video, I probably won't be very funny, but what I will do is share with you why I changed my mind about abortion, what I used to believe, what I believe now, and why I changed my mind. And along the way, I'll also be sharing with you my most embarrassing blunder that I'm not proud of about what I used to think about abortion. And trigger warning, my current thinking about the topic will probably piss you off, no matter which side of the aisle you're on. Hey, why are you sharing your opinion about abortion, JP? Because as a man who obviously could get pregnant at any time, I just feel that it's important that my voice is heard on the matter. And if you don't think my voice should be heard, then that implies that you don't think men can get pregnant. So be careful, because we don't want you contradicting yourself with the conflicting Marxist agendas that your mind is infected with. It's so true. But why I'm really sharing my opinion is I used to think one way about abortion, and now I think a completely different way about it. And I just want to share how my thinking has changed, because I think it's really important that we allow our thinking to change, because that's how we learn and grow. And another reason is that given that the topic of abortion can throw people into a hysterical fit of polarized rage, I just want to share the 2 cents that comes from my heart and logical discernment, not my emotional hysteria.
Shut up, you oppressive man. We don't need your toxic masculinity.
Hi, feminists. If you see toxic masculinity everywhere you look, then the mirror of life might be trying to tell you something about yourself. But I'm sure I'm wrong, because I'm just an empowered man and you're just a rageful woman who still hasn't recovered from her daddy issues. Also, my current thoughts on abortion probably aren't what you think they're going to be either. You might be thinking, oh, JP, Mr. Freedom, well, of course your thinking is going to be in line with the conservatives. No, not exactly. I don't like to outsource my thinking to any group. I like to think for myself. And you might also be thinking, well, does that mean, JP, you've gone all crazy liberal on us? You gonna dye your hair blue next? Nope. My thinking definitely isn't in line with what they're told to think, nor is it in some boring middle ground either. It's more in like a straight line that pierces into a different dimension. So let me explain, starting with what I used to think about abortion, and at the end, we'll get to what I do think about abortion now. I used to think pretty much like a leftist about abortion. Not only did I think women should have the right to an abortion, I thought getting an abortion was a pretty empowered choice for a woman to make. Like, you go, girl, kill that baby. And I also used to think that, like, in the first trimester, the baby that you're about to kill is.
So there's like a large number of men that are super, super pro-abortion and pro-abortion all the way. But you have to remember that a man doesn't have the biological understanding of what it feels like to have a baby grow in their womb. So, like he was saying, in that whole like, yeah, go be gung ho and go ahead and do it. Like, you know, go ahead and do it. Like, I'm not saying it's not a choice that's right for certain people at certain times. What I'm saying is that a lot of those people probably weren't offered other choices. And that's the part that's dangerous, right? Let's keep hearing it.
It's not really a baby yet, because I've heard other people say that, and it's a pretty convenient thing to think. Here's my most embarrassing blunder about my old thinking about abortion. Now, I'm not proud of it, but it's true, so I'm going to share it. Here it is. The thinking that was going through my mind about abortion, it wasn't my thinking. The leftist propaganda about abortion got to me. I'll admit it. Like, I fell for it. And it's 100% my fault. It was nothing other than mental weakness and a lack of self-awareness.
I feel that same way.
Allowed it. And the scariest thing about it was I
accepted it to be true until I thought differently.
I thought it was my own thinking. Leftist propaganda about abortion, JP? Huh? Yeah, without sugarcoating it, I think there's evil, tyrannical people in this world, controlled by Satan, if I'm being honest, and I am, who want to keep the population of the world small so it's easier for them to control everybody, and they want to destroy the nuclear family so people grow up weaker and are therefore more controllable. And knowing's half the battle. Getting people to get abortions is a big strategy of theirs, and they get people to get abortions through their propaganda that gets people to think that not only are abortions okay, but abortions should be a celebrated, empowered choice. More on that in a minute. But the moral of this story is that propaganda got to me. Now my pronouns are he who thinks for himself, so I can better draw a distinction between what my heart feels and what my own critical thinking says versus the propaganda that comes into my mind from outside sources. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've made a lot of progress in this area. Thus, I no longer believe abortions are just okay, and I certainly don't believe there's something to be celebrated. I look at what I used to think and what's all over the leftist media today, and it's very clear that people are being persuaded to think about abortion as a virtue. This happens through weaponized morality. That's when you have manipulative people who get good people to think that doing something horrible is not only not horrible, but it's a good thing to do. It's a moral thing. In Nazi Germany, it was turn your neighbor in to face a certain death because it's the right thing to do. Now it's scream at your neighbor for not getting jabbed because it helps keep everyone safe. Or peacefully burn down buildings in Portland because racial equality is important. Or get an abortion because of women's empowerment. Sound familiar? Yeah. It's all weaponized morality. I will unapologetically say that pretending a baby isn't a baby and then killing the baby is not a virtue. It might be a choice, but it's certainly not a virtue. Having a choice is empowering, but that doesn't mean any choice you make is an empowered choice. For example, if you're over 21, you have the choice of whether or not to drink large amounts of alcohol every night. And if you choose to get drunk every night, that doesn't mean you're choosing an empowered choice. I think we'd all agree that though the choice is yours, choosing to drink excessively every night is a very disempowered choice. Yet weaponized morality tries to get women to think that they're making an empowered choice if they choose to abort their baby. But what I consider to be a very empowered choice for women around reproduction is for them to have very strong discernment and boundaries about who they have sex with in the first place. Having sex with someone to fill a psychological void so you can feel like you matter to them and are valued by them for a few moments is a very disempowered choice from the Genesis. But I got an abortion, so I'm empowered now. No, because anything built on the foundation of a disempowered choice will simply be an extension of disempowerment. The illusion of empowered choice in the abortion scenario is maybe just a rationalization for not improving your self-esteem by using courage to make more empowered choices from the get-go that have you filling your psychological voids from within rather than using men to fill them. Hi again, feminists! Feel free to go back and listen to that part again. And just so you know, getting mad every time you hear someone say something you don't like doesn't make you empowered. It makes you unstable. Okay, JP, you've shared what you used to think about abortion. So what do you think about abortion? Great question. My current perspective will probably piss off all the leftists, and it'll probably piss off a lot of conservatives who otherwise agree with me on a lot of issues, but instead of just going along with groupthink, I'd rather be honest. So here it is. I think abortions are evil, yet should be legal for the first couple months after conception. Say more, JP. I will. I truly believe that abortion is straight up.
Right. I would say I want to kind of break down like what he's saying is going to be his controversial take on this. I would have to say I agree with that first part, right? I have my feeling about it, but I think for the first 3 months, it should be legal. You know, like I would have a stipulation on that on top of that, that before you get an abortion, you know, that you're, you know, not pressured in any way, but made aware that there are other options if you wanted to carry full term, adopt such and such, yada, yada, yada. And offer a level of health service to the person after the abortion, because what happens is, you know, I've had a number of friends who've gone through abortion, a number of close people to me that have gone through it. I'll put it that way, simply. And what I would say is that everybody involved, the romantic partners, let's say there's romantic partners, it's not the right time, somebody chooses to have one, right? They both suffer a post-mortem experience because it's just nature, it's natural, it's chemicals, it's physiology, it's biology. These people will have a post-mortem experience, you know, from an abortion. And I believe there's no help for women that have to go through that, you know, at all. You know, like, no mental health, right? Like, if you're going to make this as readily, you know, they say it's so easy to buy a gun. I guarantee it's twice as easy to get an abortion. So what's your argument there, right? I guarantee you're going to go through a lot more checks and balances before ever buying a firearm than you would getting an abortion. You can walk in off the street, and pimps take advantage of it. They take their hookers off the street. I'll find a documentary on it. It's an easy find. It's an easy to find pimps abusing the Planned Parenthood. Man, I'll find that. I'll find that in the next video. We'll watch that. We'll watch how pimps abuse Planned Parenthood next. Let's see that. Let's watch that. It's my show. That's what I want to do next.
Killing babies. And not only is that not a virtue, that's evil. Yet, if I imagine I'm a woman, as apparently a lot of men are doing nowadays, and I imagine I was raped, which is certainly an act of evil itself, and I got pregnant from it, I think I would get an abortion. Is that still evil? Like, I don't know, probably, but I'd still probably get one. Okay, and you said a couple months after conception, like, why a couple months, JP? It's just kind of an arbitrary number. But what I'm certain of, though, is late-term abortions and even mid-term abortions should be completely banned. And for the record, I don't believe any of the BS that says, well, a baby isn't a baby until we want it to be a baby. No. A baby is a baby from the moment of conception. And there's evil lunatics out there that want to be able to kill babies up until the moment of birth. And there's even a California bill that's been proposed that would allow people to kill
popular
babies
political
up to
streamer that's
28 days after birth. There's no question in my mind that there's nothing but pure evil behind this. And if you give these evil lunatics an inch, they'll take a mile, but they'll take that mile inch by inch. So your mind acclimates along the way and can't quite distinguish how outrageously evil the acts are. Unchecked, you can only just Imagine where these evil lunatics will have abortion in 20 years. Oh, your kid's 2 years old. Does he talk yet? No. Oh, well, a clump of cells isn't really a human until it learns language. So why don't you take him out back for an abortion while we celebrate you? Okay. So you might be saying, okay, JP, you think abortion is pure evil, yet you
I'll be
don't
right
think
back,
it
my
should be
friends. Keep watching this. It's
100%
got a couple
banned?
minutes left.
Don't you think we have a responsibility to protect
I'll be
unborn
back in
children?
just 2
That's a
seconds.
great question, and I could imagine how that could be very true. And another way I'm looking at it in this moment is through the lens of a freedom maximalist. For the baby inside that mother, God has assigned that mother and father to be the protectors of him or her. And in the name of not letting the God-given freedom and sovereignty over the mother's being infringed on while the baby's inside of her, I do worry that outsiders stepping in to try to protect the unborn child could be an erosion of freedom that exists on a very slippery slope. And if the parents not only don't protect the fetus, but actually harm it, then that means they are very shitty protectors. And from there, that's perhaps for God to deal with them about, not for other people to play God and deal with them about. And I don't know if I'm right with this part of my thinking. I just know it's what my thinking is in this moment. So in conclusion, I think abortion is evil and should be a choice with limits on it. I think it's a very evil choice. I believe children are divine droplets of God incarnated to allow divinity to unfold and for heaven on earth to be lived. And I think the killing of divine droplets of God is nothing other than satanic. I also believe there's many loving women out there who have had abortions and now they feel the pain and regret of it. To them, I say, please have a voice so your light can help illuminate a better way for other women out there who would otherwise be misguided by all the weaponized morality and the abortion propaganda. I also believe that if you're in your heart and you truly ask for it, God, yourself, and your baby's soul will forgive you. We've all done things in our life we feel remorse about, certainly including me. Further, in conclusion, I believe there's vicious propaganda out there that tries to frame abortion as a virtuous thing to do. I recommend never outsourcing your thinking to the propaganda or the evil tyrants controlling it while you think for yourself instead. Finally, I love evolving my thinking, which means having the courage to disagree with what I used to think is true so that I can learn, grow, and adopt beliefs that serve me better now. And I could be delusional, but I think it's beneficial for everyone to do the same thing. That's why I made this video, to help encourage it. Now to you. What do you think about abortion? Is it any different than what you used to think about it? What topics have you allowed yourself to change your thinking about over time? And how have you become empowered as a result? And if you haven't changed your thinking about anything, how does it feel to be super certain of yourself while you refuse to grow? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, stay free, my friend. Real quick, I want to let you know I've got all new designs in my Freedom Shop. If you want to help spread the freedom vibes and look like a lion doing so, check it out at awakenwithjp.com. I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Blue Blocks, specifically Blue Blocks' Remedy Sleep Mask.
Yeah, his sponsor is not paying me, so I'll just go ahead and cut it there. But I will share the link to JP because JP is freaking awesome. So let me go ahead and put the link to that video up in the chat. Anyone wants to check it out. All right, so I just realized I'm dual streaming, and I've been on YouTube for a while. They are so harsh about striking me, depending on the different topics and things I look over and want to watch. And I'm about to watch a little bit more controversial stuff, and I don't want to get in trouble over here on YouTube. So if you are watching me on YouTube, I got my viewer, and I'm not sure where you're at, but if you are on YouTube, please make your way over to this thing, put the link on the screen there. And if you're watching it later on YouTube, if you see this video and you're just catching up, I might still be live. We're going to watch a couple more documentaries. I usually stream for about 2 hours. So we have about an hour and a half left over there on that other channel, link in the screen. But if you're on YouTube, I do have to say goodbye, and I'm sorry about that. But YouTube is not my friend, and so I have to go. Love you all, and have a good night.